Hey everybody, Jennifer Baker here. I'm in my new house. Ah! I'm so excited to share my very first painting project with all of you. And this is the specimen right here. So this really beautiful antique drop leaf table is currently serving as our side table in between our sofa and our love seat. And it's really pretty. Like, don't get me wrong. I like it. It's got age, it's got patina, but I want to paint it. And I want to paint it using Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint. The color of choice I'm going with is Schloss. I wanted to take you on the journey from start to finish and show you how I go about making over a piece of furniture using Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint. So let's go. Okay, I have the table actually upside down on my little workbench here. So what I'm going to do is take off the leaves here. In my makeover, I'm not going to really do anything to the top. I think the top is pretty the way it is. I just want to paint the bottom part and the legs. So I'm going to take these leaves off, again, just to make it easier on myself. And then we'll flip the table right side up and then we'll be ready to go. And I'm literally working out of my basement. Like, guys, look, here's my treadmill. You don't need a crazy fancy setup in order to do a Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint makeover. Check out my digs, okay? Hopefully this makes you feel a little bit better about your space. Another thing I like to do is to prop the feet up of my project on some spare blocks of wood. And what this does is it helps to separate the drop cloth from the actual piece of furniture. Sometimes if you paint furniture right on a drop cloth, the paint will dry, and when you separate the two, you'll get fuzzies all over the feet of your project. So I just use scrap pieces of wood from my workshop. I prop everything up, and then I'm ready to go. Whenever you use Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint, you have to consider what condition your piece is in and what kind of a finish it has on it. This piece in particular is raw wood. There is no finish on it, and if you see these little flecks of paint right there, see that? That's a telltale sign that this piece was once painted and it's been stripped. So there's no finish on this. There's no polyurethane, there's no paint, no oil, nothing. So this is the best surface to use Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint on because it will soak in very much like a stain, and it's going to give you a fabulously beautiful finish where you can still see the wood grain, but you get beautiful opaque color at the same time. One of the most interesting aspects of using Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint is the fact that it's a powder. It doesn't come in liquid form like a traditional paint does. This paint is sold in pouches like this one. This happens to be the color marzipan. But if you open a pouch of Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint, you're not going to find a liquid paint product. Instead, you're going to find a powder. I like to put mine in these big glass canisters because it's just easier to work out of. In every pouch of Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint, there's 5 very simple ingredients. There's chalk, clay, limestone, powdered milk protein, which we call casein, and that's what puts the milk in milk paint. And then there's pigments in there, which is how you get all the different colors. So in this powder, all of those 5 ingredients are all in here. And so just like you're baking, I like to give my powder a quick dry stir inside of the container. Now when it comes to mixing your milk paint, if you're unsure how much to use, it's better to mix more than it is to mix less. So if you think about this table, I'm only painting the bottom part here and the legs. I'm not going to need that much. So I'm going to use about probably 3 to 4 tablespoons of paint. 1 heaping tablespoon. And I'm going to use just a regular little plastic container. There's nothing special about this. Here goes 2, 3 heaping tablespoons. is going to be just enough. So there it is in my container, just like that. And when you're done adding your powder to your container, you need to add the same amount of water. Now, I've been using Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint long enough to eyeball this process. So I'm just going to add a little bit in here until I think I've got the right amount. But for those of you at home that need to measure or that have never used Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint before, what you would do is go ahead and measure out the same amount of water as you did powder and put that in here. You want to make sure that you stir Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint for at least a good solid 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, now once you've mixed your milk paint, I'm sure that you're super eager to start painting, but you have to be a little patient. You want to let your milk paint sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. And what that's going to do is allow the powder and the water to come together and thicken your milk paint. It's going to give the powder a chance to dissolve, make sure everything's all completely incorporated. Think of Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint like natural peanut butter. You know, when you open that jar, there's some oil on top, and then the good stuff is underneath, and there's some texture, there's some crushed up peanuts, maybe a little bit of shells in there, and you have to stir it to incorporate everything. That's pretty much like milk paint. It's like natural peanut butter. Okay, you have patiently waited 5 to 10 minutes. How do you know your milk paint's ready? I'm going to show you. The ideal consistency that you're looking for is melted ice cream. Do you ever eat ice cream and you get to the bottom of the bowl and there's like that soupy, ice creamy mixture left? That's pretty much what you're going for with milk paint. Another good way to tell if you've got the right mix is to take your stir stick, put it in the paint, and let it run off the end, like this. See? What you're looking for is a nice steady ribbon or stream of paint coming off the end of your stir stick. If it's really drippy like that, then it's too thin. But if you notice, when my stir stick comes right out of the paint, I've got a nice beautiful ribbon of paint, and it's a steady stream for a couple seconds and then it starts breaking. See that? That's what you're looking for. Melted ice cream. It should not be very lumpy like brownie batter, but you are going to have some lumps and clumps on your stir stick. That is very normal and very typical of milk paint. Milk paint will never be 100% smooth because that's just not the nature of this paint. Remember how I said it's kind of like natural peanut butter? It's going to have some texture. This is totally normal because it's a paint that you mix by hand.